Nunca se deja ver, no sabe disimular. Tiene lo suyo y le va bien, pero de noche conmigo le gusta portarse mal. Llega y lo que quiere es pescar, está puesta pa' bellaquear, Yo no la paro y a veces mira raro y
se hace la que no me conoce, pero en mi cama se volvió un vicio como a las 5:12. Me la como entera y nadie se entera. Pa' la amiga, toda soltera, siempre a la vela pa' que ella siga. Se hace la que no me conoce, pero en mi cama se volvió un vicio como a las 5:12. Me la como entera y nadie se entera. Pa' la amiga, toda soltera, siempre a la vela pa' que ella siga.
si las miradas mataran, la tuya me hizo el amor. Sabe que tú estás a vapor. Ella mata con traje y cuando se viste por. Tiene el booty aquí, el espero usa los pantiamol. Una par no aguantan presión y la tienen bloqueada. Un par de psycho en Tokia. No bregué en la calle, pero estaba aquí. La baby está muy dura, pa' mí que está aquí. Chiquitita pero grandota. En la uni buena nota, niña buena se le nota, pero le explota la nota y se hace la que no me conoce, pero en mi cama se lo metí en 4 y en todita las poses, me la como entera, nadie se entera, con par de amigas, todas solteras, siempre la verán pa' que ella siga.
Se hace la que no me conoce, pero en mi cama se volvió un vicio como a las 5:12. Me la como entera y nadie se entera. Pa' la amiga, toda soltera, siempre a la vela pa' que ella siga. Llaman pa' que yo la pruebe y cuando yo la toco eso llueve ahí. Ella se viste y yo la desvestí. Nunca dice no, siempre dice sí. Cuando quiere bailar, el dembow la azota. Ella se pone loca. Ella lo que quiere es peinarse y arreglarse. Llega a la disco a soltarse. Que si me conoce dice no, oh, pero sabe bien que sí. Y ella lo mezcla con alcohol, oh, como cuando yo le di. Y en todas las poses preguntan y dicen voces. De contacto tiene voces. Y siempre después de las 11 o 12 tira pa' que yo la pruebe. Se pone olorosa y me gusta como huele. Estar en privado pa' que nadie la vele. Se puso bonita porque sabe que hoy se bebe. A portarse mal pa' sentirse bien. No quería fumar pero le dio el pen. Una Barbie pero no busco un Ken. Siempre le llego cuando dice ven. Pa' portarse mal se viste bien. Dice la verdad y a veces miente también. Apaga las notificaciones en el cel. No tiene lo suyo pero él quiere joder. Y yo le di por el expreso. Ella en el cuello de beso. Le hice tiempo como un preso. Si la ves no la hables de eso. Que se hace la que no me conoce, pero en mi cama se volvió un vicio como a las 5:12. Me la como entera y nadie se entera. Pa' la amiga, toda soltera, siempre a la vela pa' que ella siga. Se hace la que no me conoce, pero en mi cama se volvió un vicio como a las 5:12. Me la como entera, nadie se entera. Un par de amigas, todas solteras, siempre la velan pa' que ella siga.
Alright. You know, had to revive myself today. What a day. What's good, what's good, what's good? Oh, there's skids. Fucking skids, man. Go a little bit less. Yeah. There we go. Looking at the chat right now. We're live. We're live. Good morning. Good morning. About to be like 1 a.m. I'm about to get us started here. I dropped a chart not that long ago. Put one in here too. It's early in the morning for some people. I mean, for the market, we're, you know, Hong Kong, Tokyo, going into London. Gold had extreme drop down, big drop. We all know. I think we all know. I think we were all a part of that. Don't lie. I took some L's. Was able to catch this move up. A big pullback now. Back into the zone. I put an update in Discord. If you guys are in my Discord, I put one in the public, and then I updated also Inner Circle. I don't know if you guys saw what I was looking at there, but basically I'll explain some things, run some analysis down here. But before I got on, I put this chart in. Maybe you guys saw it. Price reacting right now a bit. You know, it's moving up a bit. We came down, flushed down from 3,500 all the way down to like almost 3,300. Almost like a $200 move, $180. Price moved there. So I haven't seen a day like that. Sheesh. Interesting experience. I was in buys here. Took an L, and then I went for another buy. Took an L, and then after that, went, got a haircut, chilled, went to bed, chilled. I was like, all right. And then when I saw this, when I saw the market open, I was like, yo, there's no way. There's no way this thing's not going to like react, go up. So that move was kind of inevitable. Reaction. It's pulled back into that. We can see on this 5-minute there's this high here. Obviously, there was a big gap, market open, and then it reacted back, filled the gap. Took out this high here. Right here. So we got to pull back into the zone, into the area where we got that reaction. Crazy day. I mean, there was news that kind of made that happen. But I don't know if you guys, did anyone see the chart not that long ago? There was some good reaction. I think a lot of people might have seen it. Hopefully. I tagged everyone. That was like what? Over an hour. Yeah, that was a bit over an hour ago. Before midnight. Hopefully you guys saw that. So far, I mean, reacting a bit off of what I put in there, but let's see, like price. If we're looking at price, I'm gonna run it down a bit here. So it looks like this over here. We might be like see this. How price went up and then it came back and then it made some price action after that. Could be in a stage like this if you're looking for like a buys where there's still swings up, swings down, swings up, swings down, swings up.
We are so excited to share this new home collection created with Walmart. It's inspired by the places we've
Yeah, I'm in. Like when I posted that analysis is kind of as I entered some buys around there. Once I saw this pullback, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop a chart finally. Was waiting for the right time to drop a chart. I was like, you know what? I'll drop one now. There was a lot of good price action here that we'll go over it on another training session. There's a lot of good price action in here that was just kind of blindsided by on the sell side, but looking for that dip. Didn't think it was going to be as extreme. The market's pulled back to an interesting area. Doesn't mean it's going to rip from here. Depends on how this structure holds this low. If it trades up, that would be quicker. But when you're looking at the 4 hour, it might be like a situation down here. Like look what the market did down here. Another time where there was extreme bearish movement down. When we look at that chart, there was this like $215 move down. Market lost like 6%, almost 7%. Had some down periods, pullbacks, ups. Back down here, there was a fast move down. Market recovered. Came right back to the low. It even went under the low. It even took the low out. Recovered. Made some price action after that. If you're looking at this, like where we're at with price, it could try to, because look at, we got like a quick move up, could go down, could still try to hold this area and still form some longer price action based on the 4-hour. If you're looking at an area where it might try to build a swing out of. I dropped that chart because I saw, it came up to here, broke up, pulled back to the low, so it's testing the low. Right now it's, so that chart, a bit over an hour ago, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, this is the right time to drop the chart, I think, based on if it's gonna hold this low, because it ran up, coming right back to the low, testing the low. So when you're looking at like maybe when you're looking at a chart like this, and the market's done a pullback, and you're not in, it's like good. Okay, this could be a good time to maybe expect a bounce, a reaction in price. Could turn into a support. SUI breaking out. Bitcoin, obviously, I think we all know, nice price action happening on that, on pretty much all the crypto market. There's some balance in life, you know. You take some L's on gold. Yeah, so a little bit of fine balance there you can find. There's at least I got a little bit of a smile. You know, the gold, taking an L on gold hurts sometimes. It's like the first 24 hours of the week we were flying, and bam. I even kind of said it last night. I was like, guys, you're chasing. Remember the conversation we had last night? Evidently, that conversation I had last night of like, you know, people chasing price up. Eventually, it's gonna flush everyone out. It's like an interesting conversation I had last night with you guys. Well, some of you, if you were there on the session, you might remember. SUI is, I know there's some news today. If you go on Twitter and you look up SUI, you'll see the news surrounding it. It's flying high from $2. Those of you guys in Inner Circle, we've been talking about SUI for a minute. Those of you guys in there. Crypto's looking nice right now. A lot of news today. We're gonna go over some, but not only like news, it's you're getting a lot of inflows, ETFs, so not just news. This is good, you know, you can look at the headlines, news coming out, but one thing to say the least, some ETF inflows have sparked. You can see, look at BlackRock, for instance. So this is in the millions for Bitcoin. Especially if you're in my Inner Circle, on like the weekends, we talk, like Saturday, I did a call and we spoke about how from March 31st to April like 11th, the ETFs were outflowing. But we were looking at Bitcoin's price action in that period, right? I've even talked about this here on YouTube, but way more in the Inner Circle. We had like a whole 2-hour, more than 2 hours, a lot of sessions, hours of it, talking about this kind of stuff. You had a lot of ETF outflows in here, all in this price action from like March 31st to the 11th. Outflows with US ETFs. So one thing I said is that doesn't even matter. And the price action of Bitcoin showed that too, because with all those outflows, price action kept gradual, some staying power. Last couple days, you could see inflows up to 381 million, 912 million there. April 21st, so you got BlackRock, you got Fidelity, Bitwise, ARK, and so forth, the other ETFs. You can see BlackRock scooped up a good amount. You can see Fidelity. You can see ARK did a big purchase, $267 million worth of Bitcoin. It seems like the top three, the big Bitwise accumulated back to back days. These ETFs accumulated a large amount acquired. Maybe they all got a group chat like this is the signal. Maybe they're all like us, you know, they got their own group chats and stuff. All right, we're buying today. Let's pump it. Yeah, so that's one thing pay attention to. Maybe we see more of that from some of the others that seen maybe lesser accumulation, but to be fair, average, you can see all of them accumulated pretty much except for this one here and this one here, W Tree, and then Vale Kyrie, whatever that one. I'm not even too familiar with those ones. You can see this one doesn't even accumulate, and very low outflow inflow happening on here. Grayscale, ones like Grayscale, these ones are much more frequent. You got BlackRock here, which is the main one on the far left, which would be the biggest US ETF. So big amount. We've seen 193 million, 253 million, 76 million, 267 million from these ETFs pouring into crypto. Well, Bitcoin. So yeah, we got some days left in the week still. We'll see how today goes. This was yesterday though. Pretty big numbers there. Pump it. Pump it. We're pretty much live every day. Soon I'm gonna have a schedule, like on, yeah, nothing on Ethereum, but Ethereum's had some nice price action today. 1800 right now. Pushing up, nice. Solana's pushing up, so like we're looking at if you've been on my calls, I've been saying, like I've been saying I'm not trying to be optimistic, but I went over a lot of analysis before this pump, talking about, has anyone been on the calls when I've talked about Bitcoin, ran it down? I know if you're in Inner Circle, you should be. Inner Circle Saturdays, Inner Circle Sundays, we always talk about this. The reason I always talk about it is because look at the market. When I always say when bullish happens, it goes quick. Bullish doesn't last as long as bearish, right? So when you're in a bullish phase, it rips, like, versus look how long this has been down here even, and then how fast recovery can happen, where we're almost at 95,000, maybe on the way to 100K. Anyone been on the calls? Type in the chat. I want to see, because there's been a lot of info I've dissected in the last 23 days of April about this. on a technical side, and even just looking at all the news always. We know there's so much news all the time. There's so much underneath us already that the headlines, I don't even look at the headlines every day anymore. Because I already know in terms of adoption and how this thing works, there's just so much underneath already that there's demand. There's already enough demand, and we spoke about it. We spoke about on Saturdays with Inner Circle, right? Like how there was enough demand to take this up already to 74,000 and break through it and come back to it. So, I mean, when bullish happens, it can be quick. Are we in like the Trump rally again? You know, like this phase could be. Like I wouldn't underestimate that. The market spent some burnout time, and a lot of things going on in the world. Maybe a lot of distractions going on too. A lot of people maybe got burnt out with the meme season too, not holding the right coins. We talked about this. I want to see. So hopefully, yeah, Evan Smith knows. Evan Smith, Tim, yeah, there we go. Nikki, Matt, yeah, y'all better know. Y'all better know. Almost 33. You know, like we've talked about this. Some of this shouldn't be new for some of you guys. And maybe you know, I always say I'm not trying to be optimistic, but couple weeks ago, even a month ago, I said there's only a few times a year I get feelings like this on some of those calls. I'm not trying to get overly excited with seeing everything we've talked about coming into fruition so far, because I understand the market. One day after another, you get pumps down, you get pumps up, you can get pumps down. Daily, when you're looking at the daily here, it looks pretty nice. Like the daily time frame, again, we've been watching this every single day, right? And talking about this previous all-time high that we're above. We've talked about this for a while. We're above the previous all-time high still. It's a little farther away from that where we were weeks ago. On like a technical, we've viewed this a lot, guys. For anyone who's new, subscribe to the channel, hop in the Discord. I'll put the link in the chat real quick. For anyone who's new, tap in, because there's a lot of information that we dissect on these sessions. I'll put the Discord link in the chat. Stay plugged in, because we've been on it since January. Today was a rough day with gold. Probably like, yeah, one of the bad days we've experienced in a while. Like, yeah, I'd say. Where we were like completely wrong about the market. We haven't had like days like that in a while, so we gotta remember this day specifically. Write this one down, put it in your notes. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good protein. So from my experience, I've been holding Bitcoin almost a bit over 10 years now. So from my experience, bearish stages will last much longer. They'll be more painful, more emotional, and they have, remember what, so for those of you guys that know, remember what I said, it's it's like recovery, flush out, recovery, flush out, recovery, flush out. I spent a lot of time doing that over here, where it went up, flushed out, recovery, flush out. So you got to think about the market sentiment and all these drops. Like when Bitcoin's going up, it's really hype. And then when this happens, it's like, oh my gosh. And then it's like, yes, we're back. And then it's like, oh my gosh, we're down. All these moves, down, all these down moves. Meanwhile, like they're recovering. It's like the price recovers. We're back. Oh man, we're down. We're back. we're down, we're back, we're down. Meanwhile, if you just average the price out, it's really just hitting the same. It's average. If you put like a line at 50,000, that's the lowest it went. 60,000. I mean, how many times did it touch 60,000s? A numerous amount of times the market touched 60,000 in that same phase. 60,000 got tapped a lot. It went below 60,000 a couple times towards 50,000, right? While the market's coming down, it's coming down to a price. It's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down. The whole entire other crypto market is maybe bleeding out. Maybe things are pumping at different times. Like Bitcoin's doing that. Bitcoin's punching the same price. Meanwhile, other cryptos are going like this, trending down more. Other cryptos are maybe going down, 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 bleeding out more. While Bitcoin's hitting the same price. You've seen that happen like in here as well. It's called accumulation too. Like it can show that. It can be a sign of it. When you look at Bitcoin and you just kind of look at an average area, like an average price of like here, 80,000, 82,000. So we got 80,000. While Bitcoin's, you know, dropping back. So it's coming back to the same price. Realistically, like if you're holding, let's say you're holding one Bitcoin and it drops down to 80,000 and then it goes up to 94,000 and then it comes back to 80 and then it comes back to 80 and it comes back to 80 and it comes back to 80. How many times does it come back to 80, right? Come back to 80. Come back to 80. It went below 80. Closed above it. Like relatively, like the price of this coin, this asset, this, right? Relatively is around the same area every time. It's dropping down, it's dropping down, it's dropping down. It's punching the same floor, basically, right? But you have like maybe Ethereum and all, like you'll have other coins just doing, while Bitcoin's punching the same floor, everything else is making lower lows, right? Your Bitcoin's punching the floor, pulling up, everything else is making lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower, getting to their maybe final stages or their bottoms, or the phases where they'll start accumulating. You might be in, there's coins and stuff that'll be in phases now where they could start accumulating for a while, punching the same area before they run up, right? So while Bitcoin's, you know, in a way doing this, you have other markets, right, going the entire time. Bitcoin's doing price action like this, where maybe it's coming back, drawing back to a price. Those lows, those supports, those flushes down. Other coins are going to be melting, bleeding out more. That's what you experience. You experience that if you're holding crypto for the last year or whatever it is. You experience that. All right. If you've been following me since January, I've taught this before. I taught this over here too, because when Bitcoin was around 100,000, it kept hitting 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. And then there was a stage where everything else just started trending down. And then this thing broke down. Now, one thing you got to know about crypto and just markets in general, not just crypto, just markets in general, stocks too. Stages of bearish. So like if you look at over here, we had a 32% drop on BTC to find its bottom until it started creating some more bullish price action and trending to the upside. You can see the moving averages right now. It's a good signal that we can kind of work off of to be like, okay, we're crossing over these moving averages right here. That's nice. A little bit more conviction for everything I've been assuming or forecasting, right? We see these moving averages now on the daily crossing over. That's a good little signal as well to kind of take into consideration if we're looking at the technical side. All right. So we're expecting it to go, we're expecting it to go up, but we follow things along the way that are like, okay, this is a good sign. We like what we're seeing. This is a good sign with that. Pull back to those moving averages though. Those moving averages, the market, we're now kind of crossing over here. We could always pull back to them. They could meet. Price could meet these moving averages on the daily. Which if we were to consider that now, that's a big pullback. That's like 85,000, 86,000. But these are crossing up. They could try to pull back and meet those. Like if we were to go over here, for example, and you look at like when this price action started here, you can see there's meeting them here, and then even a bit along the way up where the price action is above the moving averages, and then it meets them again. And it continues and it really expands, and then furthermore it meets them again up here, and then you get crossover and it meets this one, and then both cross over here, and now you're getting a crossover. So this is called moving average crossover. Position traders will look at it on like really high time frames, like people who are like holding something for a long time, whether it's a stock or an asset or a pair. They will look at them on really high time frames to analyze like something they're gonna hold for a long time, like kind of like some of us hold cryptos, like the way some of us hold cryptos for a year, months, like that with the like trading. It's a good signal. Does it mean like you could see there's like look over here. So when price fell 32%, I mean it was a crossover here, and eventually price met, but it kept going down. Not every crossover really sticks, but this is good because we dropped the same percentage. I mean, how many days was that? This bearish spends a long time. Like this spent 144 days to make its bottom. We hit 113 days there from the peak. Kind of freaky, eh? And we've gone over this before this move. Like I'm not just doing this because the market's moving. When Bitcoin was at its lowest here, we've been talking about this for a while, for quite a while. All right. If you know, you know. If you've been tapped in, you know. So what's interesting to me is like, so you look at this, 145 days down. I mean, if you really stretch this over, lasted quite a bit. All right, so market is maybe market's either in this stage, first recovery, before another run out, long term. As you can see, this made a high here, tested back. We made a high here, tested back, ran down, pumped back to the highs. It's coming back potentially to test the highs. There could always be flushes out longer term, but so far so good. So far so good. We're looking at the similarity between all of this and here, because the market dropped quite a bit of, that's the last time we got a drop this big, right? From here to here on Bitcoin and everything, like the stock market. So we're comparing that price action together. All right, this price action before this rally up. Now that went as long as till like the end of the year, like before the elections and going into the elections, September, October, November, and then we pumped. Pumped when it pumped closer to the end of the year, that last quarter of the year. That would be way over here, right? So at the most, the market could replicate like a similar phase to what it did in here, and that's where I think we've been at. For those of you guys who have been following, gold. Let's check it out. I dropped a gold chart in Discord, literally before over an hour before I got on. So it's already moved a bit, like quite a bit from that zone now that I dropped this chart at. I don't know if any of you guys caught it. Right in the chat for me, because I dropped it right when I saw this pullback to the low, and I was like, you know what? It's been quite the day. I didn't drop any chart. I didn't drop a chart. I didn't drop a chart today. If I did, I would have dropped a buy. So I waited. That was 11:23, almost 2 hours ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. Tagged everyone. Make sure you have your notifications on. I always tag everyone when I post something. Anyone caught that buy? Type in the chat if you did. Hopefully you were awake. Maybe some of you guys woke up now. I mean, I'll run down gold now. Crypto, off to the moon, off to the races. Solana, where's Solana at? 150? 150. Yeah, 151. The price action on Bitcoin daily looks nice to me. You know, if you were familiar with some basic technical stuff like your counter trend lines, all that. Counter trend line there. Moving average crossover. I wish gold was, now it's like, hey, actually gold's had enough going up. Gold can go up, back up, whatever. Gold can do whatever it wants to do. We need Bitcoin to catch up to gold. Yeah, right in the chat, let me know if you're able to catch that bounce. I kind of, things like that are like bounce, like you can think of it like a bounce. Like you can expect like something like this. This is a 5-minute chart, but I'm also analyzing it on like a 4-hour too. I posted 2 charts in Inner Circle here. Where's that second one? Yeah, I posted 2 charts in Inner Circle. Like I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, right? Looking at that 4-hour chart, and like on the 5-minute, I'm finding, you know, something that lines up in that 4-hour zone that I can see. So something like this, like it's in a 4-hour zone. I always, when I see a chart like this, I'm thinking like, you know, you could have a good bounce, reaction, like some demand could come in, like a support. Yeah. Crypto price action's looking healthy though. Sui, go on Twitter, look at the Sui news. Everything's moving today. Trump coin. Solana, if it like Solana has room to push up to this high. Solana has some room. It looks like even Solana's doing that crossover on the daily that I showed you. So that moving average, see the moving averages on the chart, well, the MA and the EMA. Even Sol right now, we can see giving a crossover. It's testing on the weekly here. Nice breakout there. Even Solana, when you're looking at the daily, like you're getting that similar price action that showed on Bitcoin. You have this high here that we just took out as well. Taking out some of these highs, which is good. Solana has room to potentially move. You can put, so what's cool with Solana is you can mark every $25 on it. It's pretty cool. So if you want to like simple like little grid on your chart with Solana, here I'm just gonna start with the, you know, every $50 and then go, you know, simple, good little grid. Ever DCAing on a way down, DCA every like $25. Those are good areas, good distances where demand can come in, or even not just demand, supply and demand. Like you mark every $25 on this thing and you look at, you study it, you'll see, whoops, click the wrong thing there. Just like support and resistance, right? I mean, so right now as the market's like breaking up, these are some good levels to place. Anything that pulls back or breaks above like 150 is being tested right now. That's a pretty prime number. You can see there's a high there that we just broke above though. That's pretty nice. Just around that 150, trying to clear that from the looks of it. We've spent a long way down here after dropping almost 70%. Spent a long way down after losing, I think it was 67% in value. Yeah, almost 70% in value. Tapping $100, right? Tapping the $100 price, going actually below it, $95. This price is broken up. It's good. It's good price action so far. It's looking healthy. If it can clear this 150, it has room to move. If it can clear 150, it does have room to move up to like 175. Bitcoin's ahead, and you can see those moving averages, how they're just kind of crossing over a bit on Solana. Maybe that's a good signal. You can see Bitcoin's way ahead of that versus Sol. Sol, you can kind of see just crossing over here a bit with those moving averages on the daily. Whereas when you look at Bitcoin, it's had that, but we popped up a lot. Bitcoin goes up, conversions happen too. People start to convert, swap other coins. We'll see how this goes. Pullback swim, like you can, volatility, who knows what Trump's gonna say tomorrow. He's a public speaking guy too, so who knows what he's gonna say tomorrow. Like there was the whole today, what he said, what Trump said today about China, how he doesn't want to play hardball, even though he's, you know, he came out guns blazing, playing hardball, like swinging, bats swinging, like, so that was definitely interesting. I don't know if you guys saw that. Trump says he won't play hardball with China on trade. I don't know if you guys so he's a very public speaking guy, you know, he speaks a lot, right? Very out there, public speaking guy. And he's always getting interviewed, getting asked questions. So
I'm not going to say, oh,
after this gold dumped,
I'm going to play hardball with you, President Xi. No. Well, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to play hardball with China. I'm going to play hardball with you, President Xi. No. We're going to be very nice. They're going to be very nice. And we'll see what happens. But ultimately, they have to make a deal because otherwise they're not going to be able to deal in the United States. So we want them involved. But they have to, and other countries have to make a deal. And if they don't make a deal, we'll set the deal. Because we're the ones that set the deal. Scott and Howard and myself and others, we're going to be setting the deal. And it'll be a fair deal for everybody. And it'll be, I think it's a process that's going to go pretty quickly. 145% is very high, and it won't be that high. It's not going to be that high. It got up to there. We were talking about fentanyl, where various elements built it up to 145. No, it won't be anywhere near that high.
What level do you think it'll come down to if you have
It'll come down substantially, but it won't be zero. It used to be zero. We were just destroyed. China was taking us for a ride, and just not going to have. It's not going to happen. We're going to be very good to China. Have a great relationship with President Xi, but they would make billions and billions and billions of dollars a year, and they would build their military out of the United States and what they made. So that won't happen.
Yeah, so
When it comes-
rate like literally that was at like 5:30 when the market closed. That was at like 5:30. Yeah, hardball, that's like a metaphor. Being aggressive or tough type of thing. In politics, it's like in politics and business, it's like I won't be uncompromising and get my ways and do tactics. That's kind of what it means there. So it's like maybe when he says that he says wants to bring tariffs down substantially, that he won't play hardball. Sounds maybe more cooperation he's trying to look for. Just trying to hold the cards. China the last 30 years has been, pretty much like they own US debt, right? China owns US debt. China basically US sold the cards to China like 30-40 years ago. So like man. But yeah, he sounds still hardball. Like he's like, either way we're gonna get it. Like we're doing it this way, So still some aggression there with how he talks. Even though he says, we want to bring it down this, but we're still gonna whatever. Maybe India is the new China, Maybe India becomes the new China. Who knows? We'll see. It's interesting how this plays out, because every day, he'll say something, next day something happens, something else gets said, and then the market gets shocked too. Like right when that happened, Bitcoin flew. But then you also had purchases of those ETFs today. I remember ARK Investment, that was a big one. 267 million came in there. A lot of flow into Bitcoin. Nice in crypto in general. So stock market, you look at numbers like this. So let's say for instance, we got a headline like this. Where is it? We'll find it. Maybe it's on the other one. See if we can find it. Other side, right here. So let's look at a headline real quick. Whoa. Like every day you're seeing this type of stuff. One day this is said. China's just sitting back. Like China hasn't even negotiated anything really and said stuff really. Like they're just holding the line. Letting Trump pretty much talk to himself on in a way. It's so you see stuff like this, for instance, 60 billion. That's a lot of money to get added. That was April 21st, right? And then all the US ETFs as well. Yesterday. If you're comparing it to a number like 1.5 trillion, the stock market's like this, right? So with how big crypto is in general, the size of it, that's 60 billion is a big number, right? To go in, to have inflow. With the size of what crypto is versus the stock market, versus the adoption of the stock market, how big the stock market is, how long it's been around for, how much money's in it. So you got crypto this size, crypto's this little cap, and then the stock market's like this, right? So inflows like that are big numbers to see, to get added to crypto. That's a big number when you look at the mass size of crypto in general. That's a big number. You might look at headlines that fit the stock market, like 1.5 trillion wiped out, or if you look at today, 1.5 trillion added, 1.5 trillion that wiped out, 1.5 trillion added. Like, there's a lot of market manipulation obviously going on with all this. This is being said, right? It's like one day this, tariffs are on, tariffs are off, we're negotiating, everything's good, things are going to come down, won't play hard. It's what's next, right? Other day he was saying he wants to get Jerome Powell terminated. I think the guy wakes up one day and just kind of like maybe stubs his toe on like the corner of his bed and is like, like, oh man, wakes up in a very rational, very rational acting behavior one day after another. Well, man has strategy, so let's see how his strategy goes. Either way, it's gonna pump crypto, whether it goes good or bad. If his strategy works, Bitcoin to the moon. If his strategy doesn't work, Bitcoin to the moon. Right? So, regardless. Yeah, this is interesting. This guy's getting investigated. By his own company. That he I think this is why crypto had some pump today too. What is it today? Isn't today like the hearing? Isn't there a hearing today for Bitcoin or crypto? Or was that it? Was this it? No, I don't think this is it. I think it's on April 23rd. Right? Pretty sure there's a hearing today. April 23rd, unless... Yeah, Texas set for April 23rd hearing. So there is a hearing today. I think Texas sets April 23rd for strategic Bitcoin reserve bill hearing in the House. That's today. Yeah. 04/23 scheduled for public hearing. This is the whole thing for it. So that's happening today too. Interesting. According to this, interesting. That's today. If so, it said that might be interesting. Texas buys Bitcoin. Gold. So we're gonna go over some gold analysis before I get off quick. Run it down real quick. Take everything off and then run it down. So right now in the 4 hour, 25. Only setup. Just looking for one setup at a time, right? So if 25 doesn't hold for now, like still technically in an uptrend. I think this low is really where this thing catapulted from last. So there's a lot of support here. We can see the market made a high here, came all the way down, dig down, and from there just catapulted to 3,500. So 3,500 is the top. 3,300 is where this thing pretty much just launched from, where it had its like really its launch pad from, you could say. That's where there's demand. Even like when you're looking at resistance, there's some resistance here. So if the market does close up, it would look like a break and retest. Overall, you have a lot of volatility. It's moving pretty much like US 30 these days. Pretty much like with the the volatility in the pip range and the price. So this low is where this thing pretty much launched from. So market staying above there could remain still in an uptrend and launch it again, reverse from this area. You have 3,300, 3,325 area. 3,325, that would be the first area to see if it holds. Which, let's go back to here. So back over here. I think price is doing something similar to what happened like here, where it just went down a lot. Quick reaction up, came back down. So you can see there's like a quick move up, came back down, tested the low before launching up again. I think we're in this phase. Like if you're looking at a buy the dip on gold, we're looking like we're in this type of market correction. Like we're replicating this now. Or these much bigger moves down. Gold fell quite a bit. They got 5% down. If it were to drop as much as that, it would be like to here. $3,281. Pretty far from price, but the way this thing's moving, like, I even took it into consideration. I was like, this thing just went up $50 or so. Like the way it went up, like this thing went up as much as it did, came back as much as it did, the way it's been moving. So one trade at a time, if you're looking for swings even, you're getting a good enough pullback into, again, previous demand to the left over here. You're getting a good enough pullback in an area where price could hold. That's the last low where, again, this thing catapulted from. It'd be a good retracement, probably 78.6 for sure. Yeah, like when you're looking at that low, 78.6. So went actually a bit below it. Reached for that. There's a gap there, if I'm not mistaken, on Oanda. So this is like that low. I mean, if you're looking for swings, you kind of have to be below, near that low for a stop loss. 3,400. Does it stick? That would be a long trade. Look how fast this went up. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. This came down as much as it did in 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 hours. I'd say that this low, and from here we've been making so 25. I would just be looking at the quarters, like, okay, 25, see if price holds 25. If it doesn't, let it go to 3,300, because it could always do this. Like, okay, price, let's say price doesn't hold 25 and it keeps going down, it could always come back and close above 25 and still hold bullish price action. It could do its thing. It could wick down more, come back and close bullish more. So I'd be like looking for one trade at a time. Like, okay, 25 holds. If it doesn't, let's see if it goes to 3,300. That'd be what I'd be seeing on gold. I mean, go back over here, and you're getting similar price action. So could even keep going down, because this moved quite a bit down. That was the biggest drop, $212 there. This has dropped $185. So it looks like it's going for one of the, like, replicating that huge drop there, which was bigger than what we've had so far. So it looks like it's doing even what it did. Like there was a big wick there. There was this wick that rejected, and it quickly went up and came down. Came right back to that wick. And see price is literally doing pretty much the same thing right now. Testing the low. Testing the wick, testing that low, that wick there, that 4-hour wick. It could go below it. It could go below it and still reverse. 3,300 would be the next price. Like if 25 doesn't hold, then 25 is pretty much the low. If 25 doesn't hold, try to see if it goes to 3,300. Because that gives you, you're not going to be taking the same trade in the same area so much. Like, okay, next trade would be 3,300, which would be still testing this low. Crazy, we bought here. We literally bought right here. That's crazy. We bought here too. In here. We had some good setups all in here. So yeah, like if 25, that would be the first price, like, because it lines up with the low and the 4-hour analysis. If it goes down, you could expect it to drop to like 3,300 or even lower at the most. I would say 3,280. If this low doesn't hold, you could come down to like 3,300, 3,280. I would say that would be the next zone to watch out for. If and it's dropping right now as we speak, not holding. Well, it's testing the wick. Like I said, there's a wick. It's being tested right now. It looks similar. Again, if you go down here, it looks similar to what happened here. How there was this big drop, and then it bounced up quick. Came back to that low, like that wick. It actually went below it again. So it looks similar to like that, because that was the biggest drop we've had since this one. This one was just faster. This went down, pulled up, went down, had some pullbacks. So it's very similar to that, showing that like it's going back to the wick. So the next zone would be, for me, it seems a lot lower, but price could get there by tomorrow. 3,300, 3,280. Yeah, the gold, the buys have been, well, it's 1 a.m., 142, so you just got some manipulation there too, right, on price. Stalling out, consolidation. It just ran the lows, so like it's at 23.25 right now. So that would be, for me, the only setup for the night or for the day. Still, I wrote in Discord too, 25 would be kind of an area to watch. 23.25. It's in that area. It's in the area that I drew over here. Pretty much back in the area. So you could see if this area holds for London session tonight. You could try to see if the market gives you a bounce or reaction here. It's still good on the full. It's still testing a 4-hour area. I mean, you don't have to marry every trade. If you're in profit, take your profits on trades. Like, you don't, like, obviously there's been a lot of trades we could have held, but if you're in a situation where it's like you're in profit and the market gave you a $10 move, it gave you a $15 move, it gave you X amount of move, take the profit. Don't try to overstretch how many pips you're looking for in these conditions that are moving so fast. that are just changing really quickly. That could be maybe something, because even I've been trying to hold some trades longer that I'm like, man, why was I could have just taken profit and re-entered a lot of positions. So it's adapting to the speed too of the market, because moves are happening quicker. So like you might take a trade and it quickly goes into profit, but then comes back to your entry, or just completely market changes. So you could think of it like that too. Like you don't have to you don't have to try to always marry everything. Like if the market gives you a good reaction on something, quicker exits might be sometimes key if there's this volatility that gives you those pips. But yeah, it's testing that wick, so you might get a bounce. Still same kind of analysis that I posted here. It's still it's literally in the same zone. It still could try to push out. If this holds, if this 25 level doesn't hold, then I would anticipate it to potentially go to 3,300, 3,280, down more into this candle where that wick is, if this low doesn't hold. So potentially you could get a bounce here, or even a stronger move. You don't have to sit here and project. Like if this bounces up quickly, $10, $15, that could be it. You don't have to project a huge swing. Pip and dip. Been trying to swing too much. Gotta go back to pip and dip. Just pip and dip it. So potentially a reaction here. I would keep an eye on it. I posted charts in Discord already on this. Well, a chart on this on the 5-minute. So that's all I see for gold. Silver is just consolidating a lot. Yeah, that's all I see for gold. Pretty standard right now. That's all. That's the only trade setup I see. That could be potentially for tonight. If that doesn't hold, be prepared for 3,300, 20, even lower, 3,280. It could come down into there. I'm gonna wrap it up though for the night. Crypto's still pumping. That's good. Gold setups aren't hitting today. Yeah, basically gold's moving pretty much similar to like these indices with volatility and price. Similar. I would say like a similar volatility to like US 30, literally. With lot size, putting like small lot sizes, and then this thing's moving like 30, 40, $50 moves now on average that are it's like sheesh. Gotta get adjusted. But days like today was a big day down, like had to be expected to. I mean, the market did run up a lot. We even had an interesting talk last night, but that's all I see. I think some of you guys even see something similar. But you have that low there. We have a lot of areas where it could come to. Good thing is crypto's going up, and crypto looks better right now than gold, but gold's been a long uptrend for the last couple of years. Like gold is way ahead of Bitcoin. Because when you look at gold, last couple of years, how it's been increasing, it's way ahead of Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin is obviously like a much bigger price, even this year, like with where gold's at now, way ahead of Bitcoin. But yeah, we'll be on tomorrow. Take one. I would treat it one setup at a time if you're looking for the buys, like, and let price come lower. If your zones don't hold, use the quarters too. Like the quarters, they're farther apart, and with this volatility, you kind of want that, because it's like it might seem far, but the market can go to those levels easily with this volatility. So it can keep you out of the market like at the wrong trades. Like this did react once already. It can keep you out of the market in between all of that time to when it goes there, and then watch or get the next level. Yeah, we had a quick reaction there, but that again, like when I posted that chart, it was pretty much like the perfect timing, but it just was, you know, it was a nice move. It moved $20. So even like if you're catching moves that you might want to catch, like the $50 to $100 moves that it's been making, but even if like you take a trade and quickly it goes into profit, it could be like a $10 move, $15 move, pip and dip. But we're gonna be on tomorrow. ETH 1800, that's good. We need ETH above 2000. Yeah, we're gonna be on tomorrow. Just gonna be looking for one setup at a time. It looks like this one might not hit. And if you think about, like, man, 24 hours ago we were hitting it. Sunday till this morning, it was on point, and then market just said nope. Too much winning. Yeah, you may come down to like that wick. It's like that moving average. Looks like gold's done. Is gold uptrend done now? This is it. Is the gold trend done? Maybe not. It depends on all this below us here, where we kind of came from, like this high, and then where there's like an imbalance on the 4 hour as well, and then this low. So I wouldn't say it's done. There's still two areas right now where, two bigger areas where, you know, this pullback is coming into that could reverse out of. There's two bigger areas right now. There's the one that we've been just watching the whole time, like looking at the whole time, like this low. So is this low? And then below us down here, where this move came from. So you're looking at gold. Is the uptrend over? Depending on like the weekly, looks like looks bearish right now, but depends on these two zones for me. If I were to say it's over, but there's also this whole what was it? The whole not hardballing. Trump says he won't hardball with China. That right when that happened, like that, like if you saw how gold opened, and this was at like this was literally like going on when the market was closed. We already watched the video, but it was like 5:27, 5:30, like markets closed, forex closed, and yeah, so when market opened, it dumped. And before that, price was already dumping. A lot of people are saying it's market manipulation. Crypto's surging up. This could be trying to find a bigger buy the dip to send it off higher. Like that's what all of these have done. Like this was the last really big correction. So go back in there and even look at how price was in there, and you may be able to see kind of a similarity to how it's behaving now. Everything that's really taken price up has been like these drops, these really big ones. Like the biggest uptrends that started have come from some of these really big drops. So is it the last one? We'll find out. That like it's one of these bigger corrections that have been happening this trend. We got the month was starting bullish. It's still a bullish month. Big pullback on the month. So whenever you're looking, when you zoom out, there's been drops like this. Not as big, like not as many. There was a big drop here, which is as big. Here, as big. And then the last one was bigger than what we've seen so far, which was in the beginning of April. So in the beginning of April, this thing just dumped. And that took us to where we are now. That drop took us to where we are now. So it could be something similar to this again. If it's a buy the dip, if it's a correction, long term this could be setting up potentially maybe for one more buy the dip scenario. That's what I see, at least on the charts. We'll see how price looks over the next couple of days. I'll be on tomorrow. That's going to be it for the night. Peace out. I'll see everybody on the next sessions. We still got a couple of days left in the week. Yeah, gold's getting crushed. GC, so where we at? Head and shoulders on 15. Yeah. Yeah, it could come down more. If it's gonna go as big as that one, which is like 7%, still has some room to maybe even go. 10% would be way down here. Back to this high. Way back down there. And then you have this high. And the current one right now. So you do have some previous areas where this thing is kicked off from, broken out of previous highs, previous demand areas. These are going to be some areas to keep an eye on. If this is a big buy the dip situation, who knows? Like this, we gotta see. Apparently, that's what Trump says. I don't know what China said. What's China been saying? You know. See what Trump has changed his tariffs policy so much with them on, then off, then on, etc. Routine over the past few months. I doubt any. Look at that. Like, what's China said? China's just chilling, right? Isn't China just like chilling? Like China's ready for it. China, like, it's like the whole "we have the cards" thing. China makes the cards. They've been making the cards, you know. The orange fat man is caving again. Interesting comments. Love the comment sections. That gold getting wrecked after all that news too. today. Still getting wrecked. Middle of the week, might find that middle of the week kind of like low soon. Like this went down. This ran down for a couple of days, similar to what we're doing right now. Like this fell for a good amount of time. Started to accumulate, like you could see here. Started making some bullish price action around 3,300. Or sorry, 3,000. You can wait. Moving averages, like these zones could be respective, so the zones could be respective. But even these moving averages will help in this case, because if you look at the 1 hour, we're below the moving averages. So that could be like when you're looking at looking at this correction and how and when it started to break up here, that's when it really started to trend. Was when you got that crossover on the 1 hour. So if we want to look at this like it's a correction, could start doing the same thing like that. Watch those moving averages as well for that breakup, sort of like what happened down here. It's a tougher one though, for sure. It's not like every setup we've been easy kind of flowing through the year on drops like this. We've seen a lot of drops, not like this, smaller. We've seen a lot of like dips, you know, just gradual ones up more. We've seen a lot of more. These were way more controlled. The price like these are way more controlled dips. We've seen a lot of dips, like just gradual ones like this. You know, that give a decent drop, but over hours of time, price drops, you know, $40 there, $44 over a good amount of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours, price drops $40. Not 12 hours, price dropping $180. And then inside of that, getting a lot. So back like we had a lot. We're used to seeing these dips, so we're so used to like the market behaving naturally, finding that demand after that demand after. If you go back and look at the February market, the whole time this thing was trending up, basically every dip that it made was literally a buy the dip, and it was pretty easy taking all those. Like the ones that you could, like, definitely didn't catch every single one, but you know, when they were there, even like if they didn't play out long term, like most of them worked. And then here you go, that's like today right there. That's basically like today's price action, dumped down. It's at the low. That's very similar to today's price action, where this dumped down, came back, now it's at the low. So gold definitely on a tear right now. It's somewhat because of this. Maybe the fact that you know, hit 3,500. That could have just been like a prime sell. Maybe they're putting maybe now they're putting the gold into Bitcoin. Hopefully that'd be nice. But yeah, I'll see everybody tomorrow. Peace out. Next session tomorrow will probably be on 2 times tomorrow.